Whoop whoop, what's up, Bearcats? Happy Tuesday. Hope you're all having a great week so far. Giggity giggity, yeah, pal. We're here, we're hanging, we're chilling, and getting away from the ridiculous shit that's going on in the world and escaping into the ridiculous and also in a strange way, real world of professional wrestling. It's HMG After Dark, and we're doing part 3 of the Vince McMahon docuseries on Netflix. Let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, pal, giggity giggity. Let's fire it up. Whoop whoop.
The World Wrestling Federation Ladies Champion, Wendy Richter. Richter was the champion. It was fine for a while, but
Yeet yeet, pal. Oh, we're kicking it off with the OG screw job. Wendy Richter and Spider Lady / Fabulous Moolah.
It's a show business. You know, I'm writing a script. You're holding my championship. It's mine, it's not yours. I'm not going to give it up. Well, all right. I'm going to make you give it up then. This contest, it's for the Ladies Championship. The audience is expecting a match, so you don't want to fire someone when you're expecting. So you're screwing the public then. So get the match in the ring, as my dad used to say, and then you figure it out.
Yep. He actually told that same thing to Russo. My dad said, get the match in the ring. Yee, pal, what's up, Lab Rat? Good to see you, giggity giggity.
The referee counted 1. I lifted my shoulder up, and he counted 2, 3, even with my shoulders off the mat. That was a very painful night. My dreams were completely shattered.
What's up, Revamp Wrestling? Good to see you, pal.
And it was on television.
Yeah, whoop that trick, pal. What's up, Gam Wolfers? Good to see you, giggity giggity. I'm feeling you, pal. I'm feeling you.
There's a saying in wrestling, it's nothing personal, just business.
Dude, yeah, Vince's life story could actually be like the foundation of a great fictional crime show. Absolutely, Lab Rat.
This is business. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for our business.
That I can believe. I can Vince looking at it as a complete business move, not a personal move. But at the same time, though, you can't blame the people you do that to for taking it personally. U.S. District Court to testify with immunity against Vince. Ooh, that sounds tasty, pal. Skittles, blueberry. Mmm. Mmm.
As I walked by, there was Vince McMahon sitting there, and we were at each other's throats at the time. The feds just thought that this is the perfect opportunity for me to throw dirt on
Yeah, dude.
Run wild with the wrestling world.
It's worker carnies, man. Worker carnies.
I think there are shots.
On cross-examination of Power Slam.
OG Kush, nice. Nice. Very nice, pal. Going real OG style.
Never Hogan answered.
You know, one of the last times I talked to Vince, and months and months and months since we talked, one of the last things I said to him, brother, I said, we go all the way up together and we go all the way down together. Don't forget that. You know, Hulk Hogan on the stand, I can tell you the government's very surprised. I can see the faces of the prosecutors. This is not what we were expecting. The government knew what you were going to say? No, I wouldn't tell them. I just said, I'll say whatever you guys need me to say. Just told them what they wanted to hear at the time, but I knew what I was going to say. I was going to tell the truth. He didn't sell steroids. He didn't tell people to take them. All the stuff they said about him was not true. He was crafty in terms of giving the government what they wanted to a certain extent, but not what they really wanted.
They really wanted someone to say, Vince McMahon told me to take steroids.
They even called me. They wanted me to test out against that.
Man, I don't think I've ever tried the OG Bubba. That's not on the bucket list now.
But he didn't sell it to us.
There was a strong influence to take him just based on common sense and realizing all the guys that are on steroids are the main event guys. But Vince telling me or any other wrestler to take steroids, I never saw it.
So, hey, you go on steroids. But would he say, hey, you need to work out harder, even though go on steroids? Who knows?
I wasn't guilty of anything. Didn't change the fact that these bastards were coming after me for no good reason. So naturally, I'm concerned. This is
Corey J's back, pal. Yeah, so far, I've only found crosses. Those are the ones I've had personally.
My life is about to change.
World Wrestling Federation head Vince McMahon allowed himself just the slightest expression of relief as the verdict was read.
The verdict, not guilty. Cheers from fans roared through the courtroom, and a from his wife of 27 years, Linda.
The verdict happened, and it was relief.
That case never should have gone to trial because they did not have the evidence to convict him. And I think they did it because they thought Vince was a bad guy. If you're a newspaper reporter, you can go after him for that. If you're going to put him on trial, you have to have more than that.
If there weren't any doubters,
You know what? I got to agree with Meltzer there.
I think this just cleared.
There was absolutely no, really no evidence that there was to convict Vince of that.
The case proved by all testimony that most of your guys were on steroids and your biggest stars were on steroids. That's what the case proved. They're going to try to portray him as the good guy, but it's like Vince was the bad guy. He wasn't convicted, nor should he have been, but he wasn't the good guy.
No, I learned really anything. The only learned about business.
Still, that neck brace always fucking kills me.
Means himself as the victim in this trial, and I don't think it was a surprise that he was found innocent. I don't mean to imply that he should.
Gotcha, pal.
There are rumors and reports try to win. Stories of contacting witnesses, payoffs, jury tampering, all of which paints Vince in a way that's very different than the way that he would like to portray himself. So after the trial, after this whole series of scandals,
Man, did you block Revamp now, so?
But that wasn't
Firk to Firk, brah.
Regardless, the trial affected business in a huge way. Things got tight and things got scary.
But I wish they didn't leave and what have you. Sure I do. Because it hurt the company, the fact that they left.
I mean, their business struggled. They had years that they lost money. Their revenues were way down. They were in pretty big financial straits.
The company took a huge drop in attendance. It was almost sold. Business was.
Hey, what's up, pal? Good to see you. Whoop, whoop.
What Vince was looking for was...
Yeah, I legit thought I saw you earlier, pal.
the face of
But good to see you, giggity, giggity.
And Vince thought it could be Lex.
All right, we're just a little misunderstanding, pal. We're good. We all here. We're partying. Yeah, pal. Giggity, giggity.
Lex was okay, but nowhere near Hulk Hogan. I know it's you know it. Everyone out there knows it.
Lex just wasn't capable of with the audience. Lex was
NKO out of nowhere, pal.
chain of guys trying to fill Hulk's shoes.
They had to replace Hulk Hogan. You know, the guy that pulled the sword out of the stone, Bret Hart.
Now, I thought it set up I thought it actually set up the run-in very well.
Generation was sort of a new era. We have new stars. You know, in the WWF, there's a lot of changing. And we have Razor Ramon. There's only one man who is oozing machismo. We have Kevin Nash. It's the new generation. And we have Shawn Michaels. I'm the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, Jack. I'm the man that made history. Once you knew no longer sort of the Hogan era, it kind of just put a question mark on everything. Everything is kind of up for grabs. For most of us in the locker room, we got a little bit more hope. All game, Hulk's gone now. Who's going to step up? That was the mindset. And there were plenty of guys that were waiting to fill that void. The guys that we had, the new generation guys like myself and Undertaker, some of the best wrestlers maybe ever. I was kind of proud to be the torchbearer for the new generation. There was just so many liabilities on the company at that time, and I was the safest guy. Bret Hart's not going to get busted with an underage girl in a hotel, or we found out cocaine in his bag.
It seems to me that you bring a certain humility.
That's why I'm saying we're going to make you champion for a long time, and you can hold the fort. Deal with all
Yeah,
this.
true. Brett's not going to get caught with like those horrible things, but it's as much as I like Brett, he can't. Yeah, he didn't do those things, but he was not innocent on the road by his own admission. Let's put it that way.
Checkbook said to the people working there, you can do whatever you want. Just make this happen. WCW is different than WWF because there's so much more money there. These crazy deals when I first walked in, and it was like dying and going to heaven.
Get me Goldberg, pal.
Money was greater than the amount.
Yeah, I'm sure that might have knocked a little bit out.
You know, shortly after Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage all of a sudden became available. Unfortunately, Savage was not able to sign a contract with the World Wrestling Federation. That was the next big one. Yes. Saturday night at 6:05 Eastern, 3:05 Pacific. We can't compete. And without missing a beat, Ted looked over to the head of TNT and said, "Give her 2 hours every Monday night on TNT." I was like, "Whoa, what?"
I just thought it'd be a good idea. At least show that we've been on the map for so long. We have been hammerlocked,
Whoop, whoop, yeah, pal.
Jumped on, chairs broken over our heads, all the wrestling stuff by Vince for so long. Yeah, I just thought we'll just go head to head with it and see how it goes. We'll get in the ring with it.
As soon as I heard they were head to head, that was like, ooh, we're in trouble. I don't know what's going to happen now, but it won't be good. Or we're going to put us out of business, quite frankly.
Okay, I'm not I'm not buying Vince trying to act like he was originally worried about Nitro. Like, I'm sure he was probably originally thinking, oh, they're going to step to me, pal? Oh, we'll show them.
They had Lex Luger show up. We had him on one of our live events the Sunday night before.
Yeah, I know, right? Why not the actual sources instead of the guy who they talked to?
But everybody in WWE wasn't shocked because they thought he was still under contract. And he's not. It was fortuitous in the sense of timing because Lex Luger was tired of WWE. He wasn't happy there. So I said, okay, Lex.
Oh, dude, no doubt.
You cannot tell anybody.
No doubt that had to be a really cool atmosphere.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. That was really embarrassing. It pissed Vince off.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
Lex Luger, you're a good man.
All I had with these guys was handshakes. Not a question of a contract expiring. I just had handshakes. They had worked for years and years. No longer was it working because of Ted's enormous wealth. It's like, wow, it's brutal.
You know what? Listening to the story about Lex Luger, that reminds me of something. Who was the first person that ever got a guaranteed contract by the WWF? Mark Marrow. And it was not long after the Luger jump when that Marrow contract happened. So I personally gotta believe that the Luger jumping had to have something to do with Mark Marrow getting signed to the guaranteed contract.
They're cartoonish because they're appealing to teen and preteen audience. I'm going to be more real. I wanted my characters to appeal.
Dude, they probably did, man. Sadly, they only existed for about a year.
I'm not going to try to land my plane over here.
So that window of opportunity to try him out was extremely small.
To be recognized as the wrestling company where you never.
Dude, that's awesome, Lab Rat. Like, seriously, that's cool as shit. Again, that's kind of where you have to kind of like take into each individual statement and look at it as his own individual, because Hulk Hogan talked about how Vince likes to destroy his competition and eat it. Is that not exactly what happened with WCW?
The results of those tapings were 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000 people in the arena. As soon as our show would open up, I would say, "Hey, we're live."
Dude, Mark is such a great human being. I can't say enough great things about Mark Marrow. He's done so much, contributed so much. More people need to aspire to be like Mark Marrow.
That hurt us for quite some time, aggravated all of us for sure. It's little things like that that just went and was digs.
Nice, dude. That I'm glad you got to have that experience, man. That sounds awesome.
Because I knew I'd actually tune in to see what kind of dastardly stuff I was going to do next week. And there were many things that they did to aggravate the hell out of us, which when I'm angered, then I'm going to focus all the more. Everybody that I knew that was close to Vince, like Hulk, like Randy, they would say, Vince will never sell. He doesn't sell. He never sold a thing. Selling is wearing your emotions on your face. Yeah, Vince will never let you see him sweat. Don't sell it.
Yeah, Mark Marrow's.
The competition.
He's a special breed, pal.
I'll get him. Here, we bring out our former women's champion with our championship belt, and live on their show, throws it in the trash. That was upsetting. It was like, oh my God. What else are going to do was I just kept gnawing at him and biting him and doing everything I could to get him to react. And he did. Billionaire Ted, first of all. They started doing the Billionaire Ted skits. That was the first real sell that finally got him to react. WWF. When I first saw him, it's like, oh, well, that's tape.
Dude, he's real good people, pal.
We brought him up to Ted, and Ted laughed. They were funny as hell. Supposed to be the Hawkster.
Oh, wow. They actually showed footage of Ted Turner watching the Billionaire Ted skits and laughing at him.
We didn't particularly, even though we were competitors with Turner. It just didn't belong on our air. It isn't who we wanted to be at USA.
Kate compliments made us stop.
Like that, I've never seen that before.
Friendly competitors, I guess you might say.
Network suggested that we stop because they were receiving heat from folks in the Turner organization saying this is over the line, and now you're talking about how much lithium he takes. In hindsight, I wish that we hadn't have done that. I think we should have been above it, but we did. And that's also where I figured out Razor Ramon and Diesel, they're not staying. Because I asked Razor and Diesel to do one, and they didn't want to do it. Why wouldn't you do this? Yeah, I just don't want to do that. Are you going there? No.
I had long conversations with Scott Hall.
Get me the Nacho Man. Ooh, yeah.
Same time, they have to look into the mirror and have to know, wait a minute, it's better for my family, from a paycheck standpoint, to go there than it is here.
That was just pure money and schedule. They were offered more money and they were offered a better schedule.
When Scott and Kevin signed with WCW, certainly from a professional standpoint, thrilled for him. From a personal standpoint, it hurt a little bit because I was going to miss my buddies. There was a group of us that were all friends backstage. The Clique, Kevin Nash.
Yeah, get me the fake Diesel and Razor, pal. Sadly, one's dead and the other one is the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. Whoop, whoop.
Even though it was portrayed on TV. So you flash forward to the...
Yeah, where's the huckster, pal?
Just a live event with no television. Earlier in the day, Sean had talked to Vince about doing some kind of tribute to those guys.
Bruh, so they zoom in, so they have this thing where it's a doorway. You have 3 signs: Vince's office, and right underneath that, ladies' dressing room. Come the fuck on, man. Come the fuck on. Like, seriously? Are you kidding me? We could put 2 and 2 together here, pal. Not a good look at all.
Rivals do that, and to just let everybody know, hey guys, show's over. We really love each other. Everything's good.
I was actually there. I was at the Garden that night. I'm sitting there in the audience like, what is this? I can't believe they're doing this. My dad's going to be so mad. Part of me thought,
Like, man, just...
But part of me was like...
Again, in 2024, looking back at that now, it's like, oof. 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 Oof.
But I was with the company. I got thoughts on that. Yeah, what are your thoughts on it? I didn't like it. They killed wrestling that day. That was one wrestling.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, who knows what happened beyond that doorway, pal? Nobody, other than the people involved. It's all about the money.
Well, there are a number of performers other than them who really hit. I can't imagine if it's what we call a kayfabe type situation. So if you go back to the way the business was, it's a thing called kayfabe. Kayfabe.
Kayfabe is a carnival term initially. Kayfabe is the fiction that's being produced by a con artist, where everybody who's involved in the con agrees to maintain this reality.
Kayfabe is basically keeping the illusion that it's real. You say kayfabe and you know that you got to be in character and pretend everything is real. Good guys stayed with good guys and bad guys.
Yeah, give me the casting couch, pal. This is way before Weinstein.
We tried to work off of the premise that wrestling was not predetermined, and that when you had a feud with somebody, it was a blood feud and it carried on outside of the ring. The way I came up in the time period I came up, I lived that, and I believe.
Whoop, whoop, what's up? Good to see you, pal.
I knew, they know that I'm a real person. Always wanted.
Unfortunately, I can't really speak that language, but we're glad to have you here, pal. Hope you're having a good time. Whoop, whoop.
Protected the character so much. I was just always trying to keep people intrigued. But it was becoming.
Dude, that was one of the funniest wrestling Easter eggs I remember seeing. Director Kayfabe.
With a lot of rumor. So if you went to a show, people are talking about what's real and what's not. I honestly don't have any idea why kayfabe and all that was still so important. And I guess that was our point with the curtain call. We felt like everybody already knew that. sincerely meant to be just an innocent act turned into such controversy. I felt like, I don't know, was I talked into this? Was I not? No, I let it happen. At the same time, can't let it happen again. So there were some repercussions. Ted's gone. Scott's gone. Sean's WWE champion. Heads are gonna roll. It's gonna only be one, and it's going to be mine. Somebody has to pay for that, and in a particular case, there was Hunter. So at that point in time, I was supposed to win, and that's all gonna go away. That's the one thing that's crazy to me. The biggest reaction of the night, by far, was that moment. The world is changing, and we're going to change with it, I think. He said, yeah, but it's not right now. I got to do something. I can't just let this go. And to quote Vince, you're going to have to learn to eat shit like the taste of it.
Vince was not yet ready to adapt.
All right, that conversation between Vince and Triple H, I can believe that conversation happening. Like, I can believe that they actually had that conversation.
The storyline in my head for a long time called it The Outsiders, but I couldn't quite make it work the way I wanted to make it work because I didn't have the right talent for it. And now with Scott coming in and Kevin Nash becoming available, I now have the perfect cast.
Know who I am. You don't know why I'm here.
Two guys lied to wreak havoc inside of WCW. For the big boys, hear the play.
The Outsiders showing up and coming to WCW is maybe the last example of where fans could not fully tell, is this real?
The way I brought them in, the nuanced dialogue led certain people to believe that they were there on WWE's behalf. Do you work for the WWF? The audience wasn't sure if it was real or if it was scripted. That's the sweet spot. You don't jack us around, don't you?
Yeah, give me the same elevator, pal. But at least they played it off.
It was a hell of a great idea. Worked so well that Vince McMahon decided he had to sue us. We sued them because...
Ooh, that's a good observation. I never thought of that.
He didn't say his name was Razor Ramon, but it was as close to Razor Ramon as you could get without saying, hey, Razor Ramon.
You're stealing. Right way to do business. Stealing is in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? It's funny because immediately Vince went into sympathetic babyface mode. He started whining like a little schoolgirl with that. And big bad billionaire Ted's trying to run us out of business.
When you have the resources of
you can't really argue with Eric about that because it's like, wait a minute, Vince. 10 years ago, didn't you do the exact same thing that Ted Turner's doing to you that you're now crying about?
Small little family run business.
there has been a system.
No, again, Ted's philosophy was let's go.
Wow, I'm surprised that that Vince was actually questioned on that, and Vince kind of like, no, it's different. Here's why.
Sure did.
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna rewind that so we hear that.
Philosophy is different than Ted's. Like he's Frank.
You didn't see any similarity to sort of what you were doing with the territories.
No, again, Ted's philosophy was, let's go hurt. I'm going to hurt my competitor. And that's not mine.
You didn't look at what Ted was doing as competing?
Sure did.
But you said that your philosophy is different than Ted's. Like he's trying to hurt the person.
Correct. Some would think it might be hypocritical for me to say, okay, I don't hurt someone else. I just do what's best for me. Yet when someone comes after me, I don't think they have the right. Sure, they have the right. Again, what I say.
Dude, Vince, you can't talk your way out of this. It's the same thing, pal. Ted Turner did the same thing to you did to all the other territories, and now you're crying foul. You can't do that, pal. You can't do that.
Vince is going to do whatever it takes to be successful on the business side. And during Monday Night Raw,
And to be fair to Vince, God bless him, he got competitive, fought back and won.
But if you go back and you really look at the numbers and you look at everything that happened, what really turned the corner for WCW was the Bash at the Beach, where the outsiders were going to bring in the third member. Who's it going to be? I was there.
I want to correct something to what Bruce Pritchard said. The 83-week winning streak started the night that Kevin Nash appeared on Nitro and did the whole, this is where the big boys play. Look at the adjective, we ain't here to play. That was the night the streak started. The 83-week, 3-week streak started. Them are the facts, pal. So if Bruce Pritchard wants to, keep his head up Vince McMahon's ass and say, it's because the Vince McMahon creation of Hulk Hogan did it. Nah, dude. The 83-week streak started the night Kevin Nash appeared. Now, yes, absolutely, Hulk Hogan turning heel and joining him took it to the next level. But they were already doing the right things and heading in the right direction with just Hall and Nash.
In the history of the industry is going to go the other way.
Can't turn Hulk Hogan bad. Can't do that. That was a big holy shit moment.
When I walked out to be a bad guy, I knew this was the greatest moment of my career, or this would destroy my career.
That's the first time I'd ever been told there's a thing that's too much heat. And maybe this was.
That rumble was there. They kept kind of quiet on my little shit. I know we didn't have anybody watching the ring in case they started coming, and back in the day, I was used to them coming.
There were people throwing stuff in the ring and booing and screaming.
They can stick it, brother. And Eric Bischoff, he can go back to selling meat out of the back of a truck, Jack.
Get everything you can out of the audience. Sometimes it's got to be a little uncomfortable. And it was just a very strong punch to the gut for wrestling fans.
When they made Hogan a heel, something that you guys were considering ever?
No. Jerry and I always thought that we would simply keep Hulk Hogan as a good guy, always be someone standing up for justice.
Vince McMahon missed out on the most lucrative opportunity. He could have been the one to turn Hulk Hogan heel. Every piece of trash that got thrown in the ring was like a gold brick as far as WCW is concerned.
When he did turn heel, it was like, wow, he did that very well.
A lot of fans forget that I was a bad guy when I first went to the WWF to work for Vince's father. So it wasn't like this is my first barbecue. And so I just slid into that snidely, whiplash, evil Hollywood character.
Shut up! If you want to hear what I got to say.
I wheeled that promo from my hip. That was nobody talking but me. These two men right here came from a great big organization up north. I made that organization a monster. I made people rich up there. To push hard against Vince, to prove a point that it takes two to tango. It just wasn't one guy that did all this shit. It just wasn't Vince that did all this. The man Hulk Hogan.
All right, that part from Hogan I can believe. I can see Hogan kind of having like a little bit of a crawl up his ass of like, hey, it wasn't just you, Vince. It was me and you, and I'm going to show you that down here in WCW. Like, I can see that being a real thing.
Certain time against her. With Hogan, it was personal. That was the moment in time that shit changed.
You can call this the new world order of wrestling, brother. The Outsiders eventually became the NWO storyline. Here's the NWO. Ready or not, here we come. The NWO was coming in to take over WCW and take all their biggest stars and eventually overcome WCW. Yes, it was a storyline. Yes, they were characters. But in every sense of the word, the NWO brand was in many respects more powerful than the WCW brand.
During that period of time, WCW was cool. They're going on. I started to see WWE as less than
New World Order. It was edgy and like nothing anyone ever seen. And they started kicking our ass week after week after week.
Hulk became a bad guy. Switched. I didn't look back for 83 weeks.
20 weeks. 83 straight weeks. For 83 straight weeks. For 83 weeks. Was it 83 or was it 84? My podcast is called 83 Weeks. For 83 straight weeks, we were stomping a mud hole in WWE. We were so far ahead of them it wasn't funny. For us to be winning, week after week after week, it became infectious. We thought we had the strongest team. We thought we had the better story. No way we thought we could lose. Not only are they kicking our butts, that's really having their way with us. This was a war. And I didn't know whether or not we even stay in business because Turner was coming after us. I'm either all the way in or I'm all the way out. So once we committed to go after Vince, I was all in. So the question now, what is the most powerful organization in professional?
Yeah, pal.
At some point, it was suggested to me that I become a part of the NWO. And it made sense because I was running WCW. I was recognized as the president of WCW. Who better to take over than the guy that's actually writing the checks?
In the beginning of the Monday Night Wars, I don't think that Vince Eric Bischoff. Vince looked at the Monday Night Wars as something between Vince and Ted.
When you go back and listen to the interviews, always talked about Ted Turner.
Ted Turner's wrestling organization.
Ted Turner's trying to put him out of business. Ted Turner this, Ted Turner that.
Ted Turner is Ted trying to own the World Wrestling Federation.
Was Vince McMahon going to come out and say, hey, this guy named Eric Bischoff that's never been a wrestling executive in his life, that's only been in a creative role for about a year and a half, is kicked? I didn't know. Well, actually, I didn't realize this, but years before, Eric had come to WWE and auditioned as a television announcer.
My hero, Hulk Hogan, absolutely. The man, the myth, the legend.
Wow, that's weird to see Eric Bischoff's WWF audition tape. That's new to me. I've never seen that.
No. I don't regret anything in my life.
as anyone would. But everything that they basically did pretty much was a WWE creation to begin with, including when Turner took that.
Dude, that fucking Vince bravado, pal.
I wanted to hang on to one of my stars. So I made a deal with Brad. He flew up to Calgary.
Ooh, we're getting in the Montreal screw job now, pal.
WWF forever. This is a sign this event is not going to be good. This wrong thing, ego-wise.
Yeah, that's a pretty incriminating statement right there, pal. I don't regret anything I've done in my life. Oof. Big oof right there, pal.
My dad took Brett's contract and showed Brett where the loopholes were and said, look, you can use this as leverage to help negotiate yourself a much better deal with WCW.
So Brett went for the other guys and was paid a lot of money.
Bret Hart happened to be the WWF champion at the time. All my dad expected back was for Brett to do the right thing business-wise since he was leaving and lose to Shawn Michaels.
Brett, you have property around your waist belonged to WWE and belonged to you. You didn't win it. You know, you were granted that. I can't let you go to Turner with the WWE Championship belt. That doesn't make any sense.
Brett had different ideas.
Everybody felt like he should drop the title to somebody before he goes. And I don't even think Brett had a problem losing the match. It was losing it to me. Shawn was in.
I like that Shawn said like Shawn actually stuck up for Brett, where it's like he didn't really have a problem like doing business. It's just like he did. It was the problem was with me.
Capitalizing on this real life dissension that we had.
Shawn and Brett, two great performers. We're not getting along. Shawn started what we call shooting promos. They would go off script, you know, and say something personal. He stabbed the World Wrestling Federation in the back. Why? For his financial gain.
After a while, you begin to know what bothers somebody, and man, I poked that bear like nobody's business. I was such a prick.
I came close to punching Shawn out quite a few times.
Even though lately you've had some sunny days, my friend.
Telling on national TV that I'm banging Sonny when I'm a married man. You're crossing a line where you're messing with my family. You're messing with me on a personal level. And it's bullshit.
What were your thoughts about that?
My thoughts at the time was, well, this is good for television.
Right, yeah, and I could see like Vince easily thinking that like this is good TV, pal.
Because we need someone to replace you. And Brett said, well, I don't want to do that, especially in Canada.
There was a phone call that happened with Shawn, myself, and Vince. Vince said, look, Brett's not going to do it. He just refuses to do it. I don't remember specifics, but basically I was the one that was like, well, fuck that. If he won't do it for him. I met Vince when I was 23 years old. I've spent more time with him than I have my own father.
All right, we've heard Russo talk about the three-way call he was on that Brett was not aware he was on. I wonder if he's aware if that like three-way conversation, that phone call took place between not Brett, sorry, Vince, Shawn, and Triple H. I'd be willing to bet he has no idea that phone call took place.
Told that it was going to be the schmoz finish and everybody was going to get involved. We were going to throw the match out and we'd figure out what to do afterwards.
Schmoz is a big brawl of a bunch of different guys, and the referee just throws it out. No one really wins or loses. And it's like, that works for me. But the WWE have been screwing wrestlers
ring the bell, ring the bell. Even though Brett never chopped out.
Come on, Vince. You know that you were screaming, ring the fucking bell.
Ring the fucking
Thank you, Brett.
bell rings. And I'm screaming on the headset, why'd you ring the bell?
and I can feel it.
Wow, that's the first time I've seen footage of Bruce Pritchard, like at Gorilla, being like, "Oh shit." That again, if that was actually Bruce Pritchard that night in Gorilla, that kind of clears his involvement in the screw job. Like, he legit looked like he had no idea what was going to happen.
They do that. And then I went out and broke all the monitors and smashed all the pieces on the floor. It was just chaos.
All right, hope it goes good for you, pal. Hope it how it works out for you, man.
I made a fool of. Calling us, that wasn't right, but they did that was wrong. You have all respect of everybody in the dressing room and that kind of stuff. He was very consoling to me at that time. Yeah. $14 years.
Dude, yeah, the screw job definitely affected Brett. Like, dude, yeah, this is a company he gave 14 years of loyalty to, and they fucked him over. Like, you cannot blame Brett for the way he felt after the screw job. You can't.
Kill him, like beat him to death. Sean, you were in on that.
Look, he came up immediately and said, "Did you know?" Said, "And the guy did not."
Vince was
Whoop whoop, yeah, pal.
We had to absolutely nothing about this. He was like, "I don't care who asks you. You both face lie right to them and say I knew nothing about this. This was a Vince McMahon."
Wow, Triple H throwing Vince under the bus.
There's chaos in the back and people everywhere freaking out.
I'm kind of shocked they included the footage of Brett's wife dressing Triple H down.
Vince is in a panic mode and it's like, what can I do about this rebellion right now? I felt like, in a strange sort of way,
Like, especially like considering current day where Triple H is like the guy in WWE. And then there's Brett's wife like saying God's gonna strike you down right to his face.
I can picture him walking in that locker room in Montreal. Everybody else fired up, everybody else emotional. I leave the room because I don't want to watch Vince get punched. Finally, Brett gets up, walks across the room. They all kind of meet. I walk over to his locker room, hands down, and Brett falls off it. Man, he hit me so hard, right in the temple. There was no like Vince is going to give me a shot. Like, I don't know where they get that story because that is such a bunch of bullshit. It was Vince and me came at each other, and we actually tied up like a wrestling match. Everybody's ready to pounce on me as soon as we grab each other. And I remember going, the only way I can get a shot at one shot, maybe, is an uppercut. And I came right up between Vince's arms, and it was like, when you hit the bell, the thing goes up. To this day, I have no idea how the punch got through. He was out cold like a starfish. Drove him.
Again,
probably the best thing I ever did, and he deserved every bit of that. Vince did get seriously hurt. I mean, Vince
when it comes to Brett's version versus Vince's version of what happened in that locker room, I'm leaning with Brett on that one.
Pretty good concussion. I felt bad. I felt bad for Brett. I felt bad for Vince. Vince didn't want to do that, but he had to do what's best for business, and that's what he's always going to do. That was the Montreal.
Right, you really again, looking at the entire situation, Vince was trying to do what he felt was best for his company, but at the same time, you cannot blame Brett for reacting the way he did. You can't.
It was like a moment in time. It's like a landmass moving. You don't see it, but then there's a moment in time, it's a big earthquake, and it moves a bunch, and you go like, "Oh, I saw it." It shifted, and then there was a seismic change.
The real life event that happened, Brett, and the controversy afterwards led to the birth of a Mr. McMahon character.
Whoop, whoop. So, yeah, we ended with the Brett screwed Brett promo. And I'm guessing we're kicking it off. Episode 4, Attitude Era. Much love to you guys. Make sure you check out all the great HMG content. Tomorrow morning, we got the Vet and Big Ray doing the Next Level Wrestling review. And then later on that evening, we're doing the HMG AEW Dynamite watch along. Then, of course, Thursday, we got, I'm not sure what RBV is doing, but check out, make sure you stay up to date with RBV and RBV Eats. He's our bro. He's our pal. Whoop, whoop. But I know Thursday night, we're doing HMG After Dark once again, part 4 of the Vince McMahon documentary. Friday is, of course, the SmackDown watch along. And then Saturday, we're finishing up with HMG After Dark of parts 5 and 6 of the Vince McMahon documentary. Much love to you guys. Hope to catch you the rest of the week. Have a great rest of your night. Whoop, whoop. Much love, pal. Giggity, giggity.